and 100 others unaccounted for. One of the youngest victims was a 3-year-old little boy. His mother shared her heartbreaking story with David Begnaud.
He was perfect. I didn't always think so, but he was.
He was one of a kind. That is what Huda Alubahi wanted us to know about her 3-year-old son, Jaleel. Last Friday night, the unthinkable happened. Alubahi was sitting in the living room with Jaleel and his little brother Julius when she got an alert on her phone. Tornado warning.
I heard the alarm go off on my phone and the power went out. And my 3-year-old, he said, Mommy, I'm scared. As soon as I heard kind of like train noises, I grabbed both of them and just jumped into the closet in the bathroom. By that time, everything was just falling on top of us.
That storm shredded Alubahi's home, bringing the upper floors crashing down on top of her and her babies.
I was under there somewhere.
They were penned underneath the rubble.
I think it was the sink or the toilet. That's what landed on my face right there.
Where were the babies?
Right here. One was in this arm and one was in this arm. I never saw my 3-year-old because my face couldn't turn that way, but I did see the baby, and he cried, and then he just stopped. So at that time, I thought he was gone, but he wasn't. I never heard my 3-year-old say anything.
Did Jaleel die in your arms?
Did.
I'm so sorry.
It was actually her youngest son's screams that helped Alubahi's brother to find them in the rubble. 1-year-old Julius was rescued first, and he was untouched by the debris.
I didn't know my 3-year-old was gone until later that night, so I never saw him at all.
How did you find out?
Their dad came when I was in the hospital, and he told me. I wish I could have saved my son. Couldn't.
The tornado that destroyed Huda's home also wiped out the homes of her aunt and her mother. Now, Huda has 3 older children. They were not here at the time of the tornado. They were staying with their dad, but just about 5 minutes down the road, the tornado never touched their home. David Begnaud, CBS News, on the ground here in downtown Mayfield, Kentucky.
Absolutely tragic. New at noon, an investigation is underway following the death of a Little Rock man who died after going into medical distress during an attempted arrest. Last Friday, an off-duty Pulaski County Sheriff's deputy was working security at Movie Tavern when 30-year-old Terrence Caffey allegedly started attacking employees. There was a reported struggle between the deputy and Caffey, and Little Rock police officers were called to assist. Once Caffey was in custody, medical personnel were called to the scene after the sheriff's office says he stopped breathing. According to the report, officers administered CPR. Caffey was then taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. It is not known whether he died at the theater or on the way to the hospital or at the hospital. We also do not know how he died. An internal investigation is now underway, and the employees involved in the incident are on administrative leave. Caffey's family members tell us we could learn more about the case later today. Stay with THV11 and THV11.com for the latest on this investigation. Little Rock Mexican restaurant The Fold is closed this afternoon after an early morning break-in. The restaurant posted the news on Facebook saying crews are working hard to clean up the mess that was left behind. According to that post, the alleged break-in occurred sometime between 6:45 and 7 a.m. We're following this story as well, and you can expect more tonight on the news at 5 and 6. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin changed his plea from not guilty to guilty today on a federal charge of depriving George Floyd of his civil rights. Chauvin is currently serving a state prison sentence following his conviction for Floyd's murder. Federal prosecutors say they will ask for a 300-month sentence, or about 25 years served in a federal prison, which would run concurrently with Chauvin's state prison sentence. A judge will issue the final sentence at a later hearing. All right, let's talk now about the COVID-19 pandemic and where we stand right now in Arkansas. Downward trends continued overall across the state when it comes to cases, a hopeful sign there will be a cap on the rising number of people going into the hospital. The 782 new cases reported yesterday is down by about 150 compared to last week, so some good news there. Active cases are down again as well. But the number of hospital patients, that is where we're seeing some concern. That number is up by 8, and 200 people are in the ICU statewide. We added 15 new deaths to the tally yesterday. Boosters may be helping bend the curve downward. The state gave out almost 16,000 shots on Monday. 75% of them are third doses of the vaccine. A few things to keep in mind this afternoon. Today is the last day to sign up for public health insurance to guarantee coverage starting January 1st. People who've already enrolled on healthcare.gov don't need to do anything and will be automatically renewed unless they'd like to change to a new plan. Experts predict enrollment through the Affordable Care Act to be down 8 to 9% this year. And starting today, you might notice more state troopers, sheriff's deputies, and police officers out on Arkansas roads. They are looking for drunk drivers. The Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign starts today, runs until New Year's Day. It is backed by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Arkansas State Trooper Austin Kennedy says if you're caught drinking and driving, you're going to jail.
This is a very heavy travel period as well, so there are more drivers on the road anyway. There's also a lot of holiday parties and things like that, so there are more drunk drivers on the road, so there will be a focus on enforcing DWI laws.
He says those drunk driving arrests and crashes are 100% preventable. He encourages people to have a plan before they go, saying that if you go out and don't have a sober driver set up beforehand, your chances of getting behind the wheel are much higher. State Police says if you see an impaired driver, call 911. It could save someone's life.